Okay, so what's the quick factored form? Now, slide 1 looks like this. Okay, I already opened up the notebook so that way I can write into it. It says, explain the notation, explain which notation shows the roots immediately and how it does that. And 2, explain the significant point is immediately clear from the other notation. Okay, so if you click on the picture and you make it a little bit bigger, well, let's write down the two forms that we have available to us. The first one that's written says f of x equals x plus 3 and x minus 5. That's our first form that's written. Okay, and the second form that's written for us is f of x equals x squared minus 2x minus 15. Now these two are the two forms they give us, and they're written down here. You can expand yours and make it a little bit larger so you can see it a little more clearly. Okay. Now, looking at the graph, do you see your two roots or your two solutions?
Yes.
Okay, I hear yes. What are our two solutions?
Wait. That's no, that's -3 and 5.
Good. -3 and +5?
Yeah.
Okay. So if these two are our answers.
We could draw them?
No, I can.
Oh,
I can draw them.
it's not fair.
Okay. If these two are our answers, which one of these is clearly giving us the answer? The first one, okay? This one, it's not exactly the same, but it's fairly close, okay? What I notice is that I see a 3 here, and I see a 3 there. I see a 5 here, and I see a 5 there. What is the difference between these two? The answer and the notation. Here's our function notation, and here's our answer. How are they different? That's right. This one is positive, and this one is negative. Where this one is negative, and this one is positive. They are opposites.
Opposite.
Okay?
I got it.
No, wait.
Okay. Now, the second question, explain what significant point is immediately clear from the other notation. From this notation, is there anything that I know right away? I have a x squared bx plus c. Do I know any point on this graph that's connected to this equation just by looking at it?
15.
-15. Good. -15 represents the what? Y-intercept. Okay, so this is our y-intercept. That's shown all the way down there. -15. And in factored form, it's going to show us our x-intercepts. Wrong color. So this one is going to be our x-intercepts. Okay. So you might want to write up here with this first form. So factored form. Factored leads to x-intercepts. And this one on the bottom, standard form. Standard form gives y-intercepts. We have two different forms, and they show us two different points. Okay? We actually have a third point. We have another form, which is our vertex form. And in our vertex form, it gives us our vertex. So we have different ways to manipulate the equation in order to find our answer. Okay, so for slide 2, okay, it gives us our math mission, and our math mission is basically our goal. What do we want to accomplish today? It says manipulate quadratic equation between standard form and factored form. Use factored form to find solutions. Okay, so on the side, let's define some of these words because I want to make sure that we all know what they mean. Manipulate. What does it mean to manipulate? It's right there. I still can't spell it. Manipulate. Control? Can you elaborate on control?
Yeah.
No?
No.
What else could it mean? I'm okay with control. But we need to expand that idea. What does it mean to manipulate? I'm okay with copy.
No.
Manipulate, copy. Okay, what do we know about copies? They are what? The same. Okay. I want to control this equation, I want to copy this equation, and it still must remain the same. So this must remain the same. That's an important idea. Copy and the same. Okay. What else can we say manipulate means? That's right. Change. Okay. I'm sorry. If you said change, I must just not heard you. Okay. So you can talk. So change. We want to change. We have some sort of control to change this equation from form number 1, standard form, which we know, and factored form, which you practice on your that quiz, and you want to say the same. So we're just go back and forth. Okay. So if we go back to slide 1, okay, these two forms, you should be able to go back and forth really, really quickly. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, this is super important. You want to add on to this one, factored form. Factored form will lead to solutions. Okay, our factored form is going to give us our solutions. That's really, really important. Okay, we want to solve this idea. We want to find the roots. We want to find the solutions, the x-intercepts, the zeros. All of those can be found if we factor it out. Okay? You write well on your iPad. You're welcome. Okay, so factored form will lead to our solutions. That's good. If you can factor it, you will have real solutions. Okay? We'll add that at the end. Okay, can we move on? Multiplying and factoring. Okay, it gives you the first example, shows you how to multiply out x plus 3 times x minus 5. Now that we usually use a different method for multiplying it out. What they do is they multiply this x. Let me expand this a little bit so we can see what it looks like. What they're actually doing is this first x right here, okay, they're multiplying to the x and the negative 5. So this x is there, and this, and I'll do this in green, that represents this one and this one. And then this blue plus 3 is represented here. So basically they're distributing. So let's match these colors. So when they distribute the 3 times x and 3 times, it's right here. That's this part, okay? And we don't have this color, but when they multiply this x times x and this x times negative 5, that's right here, okay? No, you don't have to copy this down, but I'm just explaining what the notation means in case you've seen this and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. They distribute, they put all the terms, and then they combine their like terms together. Down here, negative 5 and positive 3 make negative 2, and that's 15. Now, the meaning is negative 15 is the product of the two numbers, so positive 3 and negative 5 make negative 15, which is 3 and negative 5, and 2x comes from these two numbers. It's just explaining the work, okay? So you know what they're talking about? Okay, and the second part down here, it's showing you the method in which it's factoring. So this one is multiplying. This one is factoring. Now we have a different way of factoring. We use our Xbox method. So if you want to use this way, that's fine. If you just want to use the Xbox method, that's fine. Either one is okay. And it says, how was the distributive property used in this process? Try the process with factoring x squared plus 2x minus 15 and give at least one possible value for q, which is this q value right here in the middle, for this equation. Okay, so, oops, let's do this. Let's create our own screen for this question, and we'll answer these questions on another sheet. Okay, so these questions, I'll answer the, I'll work with you on maybe these last two. This first one you can kind of answer on your own. Okay, so the first one I'll leave up to you guys, but this second one I'll work with you guys in the third one. Okay, so number 1 is by yourself. Number 2 will work together. Okay, what is the process for factoring x squared plus 2x minus 15? Okay, now this problem is different than the last one because the other one was minus 2. Now this question is asking for a positive 2. So the process is a little bit, the answer is going to be a little different. the process should still be the same. Okay, we use our own process. We'll use the Xbox method. 1 in the beginning times negative 15 is negative 15 over positive 2. And our two mystery numbers are good. 5 and negative 3. You guys are on a roll today.
I know.
Okay.
Um,
I know. Sorry. We'll make our box. We'll put the first item, that x squared, in here. X squared and negative 15. And those two red terms, 5x and negative 3x. And then we'll find our GCF of each group. Okay. This group both has a 5. This group both has an x. This one has an x. And this one has a negative 3. Everything works. This must be a positive 5 for this to be true. And we'll have x plus 5 and x minus 3. Okay, so try the process for factoring. We did this. You did this morning for your that quiz. Okay. Give at least at least one possible value for q for x plus qx plus 15, which would lead to this be rewritten in factored form. So basically what they're asking you to do is find a number that fits here. Okay? So far we have two numbers that work. We have negative 2. That's a possibility. Oh, sorry, that's not a possibility because it's negative 15. So we got to factor out this without knowing that middle number. Okay? Okay, so Adrian says 16. So for question number 3, let's do this in a different color. Question number 3, Adrian says we could put 16 down there. So x squared plus 16x plus 15. Adrian, do you know how you got this number? What two numbers are you going to factor out of here? Well, let's try the Xbox and see if it works. Okay, so 15 and 1. Got it. 15 and 1. 15 and 1. We know that the 15 is going to go on top and the 16 is going to go on the bottom. That's true. It worked. So what Adrian did is he found two factors of 15, 15 times 1, and he put them together and he just came up with that bottom number. Okay, we'll factor this out. X plus 15 and x plus 1. Okay, another one. Let's do another one. What other possibilities are there? The other Adrian, what did you say? X plus what?
X plus 8.
Okay, so this one, Adrian did the same thing. He's going to have his Xbox. The two numbers he said were 3 and 5. So we had 15. 3 times 5 is 15, and 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, and we'll have x plus 5 and x plus 3. Great. Are there any more possibilities? I can think of at least 2 more. At least 2 more. If we did 2 more, you're not going to do the exact same thing, but I'll just do them in negative. So x squared minus 16x plus 15, and then we'll have 15 and negative 16. We'll have negative 15 and negative 1. X minus 15 and x minus 1. We'll do the same thing over here. X squared minus 8x plus 15. And our Xbox method would be 15, negative 8, negative 3, and negative 5. X minus 3, x minus 5. Okay? These two numbers here that we find must be factors of my top number. These two are both factors of my top number. All of these are. Okay? If I can find another 2 numbers that make 15, then I can do it again. But these are the only 2 that I know. 5 times 3 and 15 times 1. Okay? Those are all factors of 15.